Hey everybody, welcome to this video. Let's get straight into the topic. You see the title. You are supposed to fail. Now I might change the channel from Make Money Online in Africa because I'm talking about different topics and people will be confused like, hey, this is that type of thing, but whatever. And I believe that in order to make money though, whether it's online or offline, because we're talking about a lot of offline resources, but today we'll talk about that online. But I believe in order to make money, we got to face the problems. We got a lot of problems that are around us. So handle, identify the problems, formulate a solution, and then do it. Implement the solution. Step one, identify. Step two, formulate. Step three, implement. And then we adjust after that. Step four, adjust. And then that's how you do it. Rinse, wash, repeat. So we got a lot of issues. Now, here's the thing. You're supposed to fail. You are supposed to stay at this point. And this is it right here. Right here. 2.84% is what Africa accounts for the world in GDP standards. Now, slightly different, but accounting for the world trade is 2.6%. So the GDP, gross domestic product, is 2.84%, but the world trade, as in the exports and imports and all of that stuff, is 2.6%. And 2.4% is all export. All right. So, or at least 2.4% is the exports and everything. That's what they want you to stay at. Now, if you look at the 1980s, and I showed that on a previous video, 1980s or 1960s, this percentage was higher and it froze around 1990, early 2000, late 90s, early 2000. It's been around here. That isn't done by accident. And if you don't start to realize that that system is there for you to fail, then things are just going to remain the same. Now, you're wondering like, okay, this guy's talking about this all the time. I just want to make some money. Yeah, you make some money by realizing this. Because if you talk to your family members, talk to yourself, talk to your kids, nieces and nephews, and you inform them, people become aware and say, hey, you guys aren't doing trade with us. You guys aren't giving us our fair share of money. So therefore, you don't get any of this. We can do it amongst ourselves. You don't get anything. If you want to bring in some money here, you can do a good deal. Right? You can do a good deal with us because that's what happens. Knowledge is power. So when you're aware of these things, now you go forward and start pushing for a fair deal. Now, here's the thing. You're supposed to fail. You're not supposed to see this one that I'm putting up on the screen. You see this number right here? Let's try to make this a little bigger. Let's try to make this a little bit bigger just in case you can't see it. Okay. This is the restaurant delivery business in Kenya. All right. Now, some people, when I was looking up that Statista is inaccurate and everything, and that the numbers are kind of just off. And so I'm going to look at this as a guideline about what we can do. Because at first I was really excited, and then I started doing more and more research like, okay, they're getting these numbers from somewhere, so where are they getting them from? And so I looked more and more, and people are like, I don't know about Statista. It's kind of okay. It's very good for visuals. So from the visual standpoint, let's look at it like this. All right, let's look at it like this. Now, this is, why is it cut off right here? It's not showing the date. Hold on the bottom. Oh, okay. I get it now. But let's look at this. This is the restaurant delivery business in Kenya. Projected to reach a revenue of 296.2 million US dollars. So almost $300 million by the end of 2024. And we'll see. It's just the beginning. It's January 9th, but it's just the beginning. We'll see. It is expected to exhibit a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 9.44% from 2024 to 2028, resulting in a market volume of about $425 million by 2028. All right, volume. That means buying and selling on both sides. That's what that means. So it says the number of users in the restaurant delivery market is anticipated to reach 21.1 million users by 2028. Now, that, for me, is the important thing here. Okay, you got so many users now, you got so many users later. I even did more research behind the scenes from this because I said, I just didn't open my eyes. Somebody in Kenya that I know runs a restaurant and does catering and everything like that. So I looked at this. Now you see what opportunity I have seen here, and the reason why I'm putting it out is because anybody can do this. I don't just talk about problems. We're going to talk about a solution. There is a solution that comes shortly after this. Let's look at this. It says the user penetration rate, which currently stands at 25.6%. 2024 is projected to be 33.1% by 2028. Doesn't sound like that much, but that's still decent. All right, because the population growing and the percentage goes up. Okay, the average revenue per user, ARPU, is expected to be approximately $19.71. So $19.71, almost $20 in US dollars. Now you're like, I don't know, 21 million users times $20. Let's do this. I'm going to put the calculator so you can hear the button. Click, click, click. Type that in. I already know what the answer, but let's just do it together. 1 times, actually, it would be 20 times 21 million. So that would be 400, like it said up on there. It gave us the volume. 420 million US dollars. Okay, that's the volume right there. Now remember, this is revenue, that's not profits. So it's a lot of costs associated with it. Now you're wondering, what is this about? Let's bring up this other stat on the screen because this actually has the details of what I am looking for. That has the details what I'm looking for right here. Okay, here's the revenue. Now I'm seeing it by the dates. So in 2024, last year, 213.4 million US dollars of revenue. Okay, this year, almost 100 million more. So almost 50% increase. Do you see that? 50%. So if you had 100 US dollars, you get an extra almost 50. So you get about 44, 45 dollars. That's what that's saying. Then in 2 years, if that projection is to be believed, again, I think I'm looking at this more from a visual standpoint. Basically, 2-3 years from now, the market is expected to double. What does that mean for restaurant delivery? I'll get into that in just a second. Average revenue per user. So it looks like it's about the same. For back in 2017, $16.36, $16.95. 2018, 2019 went to 17, and so on and so forth, slightly going up, and it looks like it's topping out. So it's not going to change too much. Here, last year was $19.51, if this is to be believed, and then basically almost 20. Now, all of these small percentage increases does amount to a lot of money when you space it out over hundreds of thousands, millions, and millions of users. So if you say 1920 to 1951 isn't that much, yeah, a 31-cent increase over 21 or 20 million users. Let's just say 2 million. Let's do that. Let's put that in a calculator. Let's go 0.31 times 2 million. So that's a 2 and 6 zeros. That would result in you getting an additional revenue. Nothing else changes. Let's say your bills stay the same, all of that stuff, even though that's not likely, but set 620,000 US dollars. That's what that means. 31-cent difference. So it doesn't look like it's that big of a difference with these numbers, but that equals a lot of money with a lot of people. So the last thing, nope, I'm actually going to skip that now. Let's keep this on the screen. Guys, you're supposed to fail. You're not supposed to see those numbers. You weren't supposed to look that up. You were not supposed to do this research. And you're not supposed to hear this, what I have to say next. You know, when you're looking at the restaurant delivery business, when I started reading more and more what that means and their definition, their analysis on that, which I don't have the screenshot here. So you can always go and type that in and look that up. But if you look at what that definition is, they were talking about the delivery based on not the people that do the delivery for the apps, like uh Uber Eats and stuff, because the Uber Eats does it themselves. They were talking about either someone that does an app for them, or two, that own company. So let's say there's a local restaurant in Kenya, right? And then the restaurant decides they wanted to create an app. So obviously somebody would be hired in IT and whatever to make the app for them. So that's the job. Boom. Money's made. Good job. Pat on the back. Hand clap. Okay. Now, instead of them using an Uber Eats or something else, Just Eat and all of those things, they're going to use their own app. So it includes those two. So either it's a third party app that is like an aggregator. So let's say that restaurant, instead of using their own app, they said, here's an app out here called Just Delivery in Kenya. That's the app name. She's going to make something up. Just ridiculous. Just straight to the point. Just Delivery in Kenya. All right, great. Now remember, this same thing is in Nigeria. I looked up Nigeria, South Africa. Nigeria is much bigger market. It's already at like a billion or something based on their numbers. And then South Africa, slightly smaller, just under 1 billion US dollars. Kenya's very small when it comes to the food delivery business. But either it's their own app or it's a third party app, Just Delivery in Kenya. And then they, the restaurant, will deliver it themselves. Not like you have to deliver it for them. Because that's what Uber Eats does. That's what DoorDash does. They deliver the things for them. Now you're wondering, okay, what does that mean? That doesn't mean much. Sir or ma'am, whoever is listening to this, the very few people that are on this channel right now, if you're hearing what I just said, that means you, yes, you, they're listening. Your ass that's sitting and listening can make an app. And if you get enough user base on there and you can convince those restaurants to come through you, and you are now attracting the users, you don't have to do the delivery. All you got to do after you make the app is maintain the security, make sure nothing gets stolen or anything on there, no hackers can get in, and you get the user base there. That's your job. And you can hire some people at some point, or in the beginning you're doing it yourself, but you can hire some people and get other people, friends and family, to promote the app, the delivery app. Who doesn't like some good food? The restaurant is doing all of the delivery. All you're doing is, and get this, I saw that the percentage rate that they charged people on these apps that people use them will be a 15 to, I think 20, might have been 30%, but 15 to 20% fee. So the app itself, let's say it was 20 US dollars. Well, obviously that's the topping out price, but let's just say it was 10 US dollars. If you charge a 20% fee, you're charging 2 US dollars on top of that. If it's 20, then you charge 4. If it's 15% fee, you charge $1.50. If it's $20, you charge 3. That's your fee. That's not including the delivery fee. That's not including those. That's the app fee that you would give them. Think about all of the money that you can make if people are consistently using your app. You have a high quality app, a nice user interface, UI, and it just made it very easy and people can do things in order to do it. Obviously, you're going to have some people that are going to be more maliciously using it. They're going to buy something and then try to get a refund. They're going to get it. They're going to say, oh, it wasn't the right thing, get a refund. Have that built in, that you're going to have people like that. Or you're going to have people, especially if you did it as an individual versus just established restaurants. If you have an individual, here's the risk with that. You got people that, especially if you had like the delivery type of service, you got people that would say, oh yeah, I'm going to deliver to somebody else. And lo and behold, if your security wasn't good enough, you didn't do background checks on them or have good information that's tied to their identity, then they'll just say, hey, look, I just put in anything. I can steal this meal if I want to. And when they complain against me, I'll just make another profile. Just keep those things in mind. But you weren't supposed to hear that. You were not supposed to hear that you can make an app either for these restaurants individually. You go up to them and say, hey, you could use an app for your delivery service. I can provide that for you. And you can do it no code solutions. I say it's probably few code instead of no code, but no code solutions. This is how we make money. This is how we make money. Identify the problem. Problem. There are people that want food. There are people that are in Nairobi, Mombasa. They are now more overworked and tired trying to hustle and bustle in those big cities because that's what's happening. And they don't want to cook like that. Some of them are going to forget to cook, as in they forget how to cook because they're not passing on to their children. The same problem that you've seen in these other nations coming to a African city near you. Many of you are listening to this and it might affect you. They're getting higher weight and everything, but that's not your concern. Your concern is you see the problem. They need food. They're going out and driving, or they're going out and riding a bike. They're going out and riding a bus, or they're doing whatever, walking. Okay, why don't you make it easier for them? How do they get this food more efficiently? Because they're trying to save time. So you make it easier for them by having a delivery app. There's the solution. Number 3, you implement it. And number 4, you make adjustments. Because maybe the way you try to implement or market it to some of these restaurants or whatever and the users just didn't work. Not in the beginning. It's a good app. You didn't have to make adjustments to the app necessarily. It's already good app, good user interface, all of that. See, I just applied all of that right there. Step 1 through 4. That's what we do. So hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, drop a comment below. Actually, I shouldn't have to ask you guys to do that, but drop a comment below and do all of that. Share this video with others. This is what we need to do. They don't want you, as in the rest of the world. The Europeans have set up a system that you in Africa are meant to be on the bottom. Why don't we show them what we can do? Why don't we show them that we become an economic powerhouse ourselves? Because when we're in business, you're competing internationally, even if you think you're local. When you're in business, you're competing internationally. That's why the farmers are suffering right now, because they're getting so many imports that are competing against their food that's locally grown. So anyway, I'll catch you all on the next video. Peace.